Welcome back to the Mocha and Cheezy podcast. This is the 4th episode. How you doing, Mocha?
Pretty good.
Sounds good. I guess we will be starting off today with the crazy AFC East race going on in Pandora right now. As of last night, all the teams were tied with a record of 4-4. However, Miami did end up losing to the Rams, so they will be sitting at the bottom of the division at 4-5. Who do you think is going to come out on top of this division?
I was looking at the users. I was looking at the standings. I think Calc in the Bills has a plus 52 point differential.
Wow.
So despite having the same record as like someone like the Jets, but he has a negative 36 point differential. I'm just thinking, I don't know. Calc's looking pretty good. Has he been on the Bills since the start of the season?
No, I think he joined like maybe 2 or 3 games ago. So he hasn't been with the team the entire season. But I think he's helped benefit the Bills' record because I don't think they were leading the division until, they're not leading it right now, but they weren't necessarily predicted to go anywhere or do anything until Cal got there.
All right, yeah, he destroyed whoever the Cardinals was last week, but depending on when he got here, he had a bye week before that, and then he lost to the Rams, and then lost to the Jets before that, so I don't know if he was there for those games, but Calc, I would say, just based on bias of, knowing who he is as a user playing against him, I would say his point differential compared to the rest of his division. Although the Patriots guy, Kumar, isn't bad. He's only got a touchdown point differential. Like he's only up 7, but he's 3-0 in the division so far, which is good because if you can beat your division, no matter how competitive it is, it's a good sign for being able to win the division. If you can beat the people in your division.
Yeah, those 6 division games are definitely the most important games of your schedule. Definitely want to win as many of those as you can, and New England so far has the edge on that. They're 3-0 in the division, as you stated, and all the other teams. I'm looking at Miami's record. They're 0-3 in the division, and the Jets are 2-3. So both of those teams might have a disadvantage when it comes to maybe a late season look at who's going to make the playoffs. But I'm going to have to agree with you. I think Buffalo will probably sneak out of this division just because I know who Calc is as well, and I know how good he is. I'm thinking I wanted to say Bobby, but Miami's just that's a hard team to be good with. So yeah. I just, no matter how good of a user has that team, I just don't see it happening. So I think Buffalo pulls this division out for sure.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say Bobby in Miami could make a run for the division too, but maybe he's just with a bad team and maybe a little bit out of practice too. He hasn't really played in like a season now, so potentially he could pull it back. He did first game against a tough new Rams user, but he looked competitive in that game at least. So I think it's gonna be tough all the way to the end in that division. That's no runaway. It's not just a runaway division. It's gonna be a tough one till the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be tough for sure.
Anyways, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go We're gonna go do the MSPA versus AFHL tournament. What are your first impressions on all the banter that's been going on?
I'm going to try to be as respectful as possible towards this league because I don't have anything nice to say about them. They're not as good as they talk themselves up to be. I was in the league for 2 games and I got mid-blitzed 70% of the game. So, or at least for the final game that I was a part of, the dude mid-blitzed me the entire game. So I'm just not really sure if this league plays in a sim manner. I think quite honestly, I think it'll just turn into an MSPA tournament. I think this league will be out in 2 rounds maximum. I don't see them hanging with guys like Trey and Kush, and I got Kane he's talking himself up right now, and I'm sure Kane has some kind of motivation or fire underneath him, so I think we'll see the best of Kane, and we're not even thinking about our bottom 4 seeds led by Chef, which is still insane to me. So I don't know. This league just really hasn't shown me anything. The AHFL, that is. I just don't see anything in them. I don't think they're good. I think Mo should have picked a more challenging league for this team, for this tournament. I mean.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the idea of the tournament against another league, but I think where the idea comes from the most is thinking you're pretty much gonna have an MSBA versus another MSBA tournament, if that makes sense. You're thinking this other league's gonna be as upstanding as like MSBA, and it's not like I'm not automatically like just discrediting them as like, you know, maybe not a sim league or anything. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, you know, kind of like get off my property, just immediately hostile to them, you know. Like, but like, I just don't get the vibes from them that they take, you know, like simulation as seriously as a lot of us. And I don't know. I feel like from what I've seen, a lot of them just I don't know. It's I shouldn't say that, but I was like, I don't know, just some of the snippets I've seen of like some of them just don't know how to speak English over text. You know what I'm saying? Like these people, they
4 times 4 is 12.
Yeah, 4 times 4 is 12, man. Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna do your math homework for you. Oh my god, dude. Like,
I'll put it to you another way. The guys in that league, none of those users would last a day in MSPA. They would fold under the sliders that we have with the horrible QB accuracy. They wouldn't be able to blitz every single play. They would actually have to open up their playbooks and use them. And we don't. I've been in MSPA for like a couple months now, and there's trash talk, but there's never anything like serious. It'll probably just be like drunk calling out Chef for losing to somebody, or calling me a kid because I'm 19, or you go through that too.
Yeah.
So like it's never really anything hostile per se. I mean, these guys they just came out and they're just all talk, man. Like they they haven't done anything to impress us, and they're the moment that Drunk put down $100 to play that Steelers guy, he backed out of it instantly. He didn't want any of the smoke. So I just really think this league is not prepared for what's coming.
Yeah, and they kept talking about just like putting money on games, which I get being able to putting money on games can be fun and make the game more enjoyable because there's something to play for. But if that's your incentive to play, I just don't think money incentivizes you to play the game as simulation as possible. Because I mean, you don't see all the MUT, top head-to-head MUT players fucking going to tournaments and being like, yeah, I just came here to play the game for the love of the game and not just win the money, right? Like they're trying to win the money, and then whereas in MSPA we play for the glory of winning a Super Bowl and for the love of football, but
right, we love the game.
Yeah. And I feel like putting money on games is just an easy way for guys to bend the rules and not take simulation as seriously. I just don't. I don't get the best, feeling about these guys. We'll see. I think MSBA, no matter how unsim they play, because even if they're unsim, they're probably still not that good. I feel like Trey will still just mop the floor with them, no matter if they run the same 2 blitzes every play on defense and the same 3 plays on offense.
Oh, he'll pick up on it for sure. You can't pull that off.
Yeah, Trey will just still wipe the floor with them. I think that's just it'll just be a Rothel stomp, at least for our top users.
I don't know. Like I said, I have nothing nice to say about the league. That's it for me. I think Troy will probably win the tournament against Cush or Lampard or something like that. It'll just be just another playoff for us. Except the winner isn't getting a Super Bowl. It's almost like it's the Olympics. Like the winner gets a gold medal.
Yeah.
Not a Lombardi trophy. All right. Well, in NFL news, I am sure everybody is aware about the Jamal Adams trade. The New York Jets finally send Jamal Adams to the Seattle Seahawks. The trade included what I believe is 2 first-round picks, one 2021 first-round draft pick and a 2022 first-round draft pick. Am I correct about that?
Yep.
And it also a 3rd-round pick and a 4th-round pick.
A 3rd-round pick from us, and then the 4th-round pick came with Jamal Adams.
Right.
Yeah.
So you are a Seahawks fan, so I'm going to let you have the floor here. Tell me, what are your thoughts on Jamal Adams being a Seahawk?
Well, this is the type of trade that should have been made for DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre, maybe... It's like wide receivers are a little bit more common, and DeAndre's a little older, but this is the type of price you need to pay for these top flight talents, it's a big price for a big player. I think both teams win in this scenario. The Seahawks are absolutely terrible with their 1st-round picks every year anyways. Might as well trade it for a guy you know is good already. Let someone else do the drafting for you and trade your 1st-round picks. just stick with the third and lower talents we seem to find randomly. We do have to pay him pretty big money coming up. Which is a downside, obviously, but safety money's not too bad in the NFL, and he's worth it. And we also don't actually we're not paying that many people right now, so it's like we're a pretty young team. Like, people think, ever since we started rebuilding after the Legion of Boom, we've been getting younger and younger. We haven't really been re-signing too many people. We have a lot of young talent, really on defense, ton of young talent. And now we can afford to pay people despite having the Russ contract and stuff like that. But he's just a phenomenal player. He's gonna help immediately. Last year we were running 3 linebackers on the field, even against 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers. That's how bad our secondary talent is. He's going to immediately help against tight ends, slot receivers. As a blitzer, without Jadeveon Clowney, we're not going to be able to get to the quarterback as well. Yeah, he's great. He's just a great talent everywhere. It'll be phenomenal having him.
I think both teams won this trade. I think, obviously, trading for Jamal Adams, there was going to be a price to come with it. And I think, the Seahawks are the perfect team for Jamal Adams. We're talking about a Russell Wilson who is starting to climb up in age a little bit. He's not out of his prime or anything, but it is now time for the Seahawks to start winning Super Bowls. To have a generational talent like Russell Wilson, 1 Super Bowl should not show for it. This team needs 3, 4, 5. They need to make a dynasty out of what they have right now, and I think this Jamal Adams move is exactly what they're trying to do. I think they are saying that the time is now. And you mentioned how they need to pay Jamal Adams in the future. That probably means they're going to have to give up an asset on defense, and I am going to assume that asset is Jadeveon Clowney. I think this Jamal Adams trade means that Clowney will probably stick around for 1 more year and bounce in free agency to a different team. Maybe he gets traded in the midseason. I'm not sure.
Clowney's not even on the team. He's a free agent.
Didn't they franchise tag him?
No. We let him go to free agency and no one signed him. He's still a free agent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Somebody lied to me then. God damn it.
Yeah, people were a lot of people were saying he's gonna go to the Browns or come back to the Seahawks, but we're not gonna bring him back unless he wants to come back on a 1-year, 2-year deal. So
I heard a report that he doesn't want to come to Cleveland because he doesn't want to play in Cleveland. He doesn't want to be here. So forget him. But regardless, I think both teams win this trade. I think the Jets also win this trade because the price that was paid for Jamal Adams was they got a lot in return. They got Bradley McDougald, who's a great free safety. I think he'll be a good not free safety, just safety, but I think he'll be a great addition to the team. I think they can do something with those first-round picks, potentially a weapon for Sam Darnold. I'm still not really sure how Sam Darnold is going to turn out. I think he's kind of underrated because of the dumpster fire of an organization he plays on. I don't think we've seen the full potential from Sam Darnold yet. And Plus, they got rid of a person who, quite frankly, did not want to be in New York at all. I mean, Jamal Adams did not like New York from the start. It was pretty obvious. So I think it was a good trade for both teams. As far as Madden goes, I'm gonna feel sorry for you because that's less off-season participation for the draft. It's probably gonna be a little harder for you to work with because you have to make that decision during the off-season whether or not you want to pay him. So as far as a Madden standpoint goes, I'm not sure if that's a fun trade for the Seahawks, but definitely in real life, I think it was a good move.
Yeah, on the Madden note, I agree. This is a terrible trade for Madden. Missing your first two first-round picks for the first 2 seasons. Those are the most important picks of the Madden cycle. Yeah, that's kind of brutal, but if I can, maybe I can flip someone for a first-round pick. You heard it here first. DK Metcalf on the block.
Wow.
We're not allowed to trade first season. Maybe I'll keep him second season too, just so I can have him 3 years on a rookie contract. But then with 1 year left on his deal, hey, come at him. Give me a first round pick so I can have one. I tend to underutilize like really good talent, I guess. So I like having an elite like slot receiver, and apparently that's all I need. Yeah, come get DK Metcalf.
Do you think a Jamal Adams addition to the Seahawks separates them from the rest of the NFC West? Do you believe that they will beat San Francisco out for the division?
Oh man, dude, I was just thinking about this yesterday. No, because the division is so tough now. Because the Arizona Cardinals are on the up and up. San Fran just went to the Super Bowl. LA's still really tough, and they always destroy us. I don't know, man. The Seahawks are so volatile week to week. It's tough to say Adams will be the difference maker, but against those 3 offenses, it'll be. I think he could make our defense good enough that Russell can carry and get the offense rolling enough to win those games, the division games. Because him covering George Kittle, just helping out against everything that San Fran, LA, and Arizona has to offer. Like, it's just, he's such a difference maker. I think he'll help slow down. Like, him being on the field alone probably will make their offenses score a touchdown less a game. Just like Earl Thomas was. There was always, like, they would always pop up a graphic when Earl Thomas was injured in Seattle. The Seahawks allow 28 points a game when he's injured, and 21 points a game when he's on the field. But I think he's that type of difference maker. So I think we have a very good chance of winning the division. I'm not sure if it really separates us though.
I think it definitely helps out Russell Wilson in many different ways, including even just carrying the offense. And no offense to you, but Seattle is one of the most frustrating offenses for me to watch just because of how much of a load Russell Wilson has to constantly carry on his shoulders each and every single game. I think if the defense really shuts down any offense that they play against, I think it'll help ease the offense a little more. So I'm not sure. I personally think Seattle wins the division this year, mainly because I think San Francisco might have a Super Bowl hangover, I mean, we watched the Rams the year before go to the Super Bowl, and you look at their season last year, they didn't even make the playoffs. So I'm not really sure about San Francisco this season. I'm not really sure. I'm still not sure about Jimmy Garoppolo yet. I'm not sure if he's the answer, but I definitely think Seattle can pull this division out, and I think they will make a really good case for potentially making a Super Bowl, hopefully against Mahomes. I would love to see a Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl. I don't know about you, but
of course, the Seahawks are in the Super Bowl. I would love to see that.
Right, but you know what I meant. It would make a good game for NFL fans in general. If we have a season, that is. I'm not really sure if that's even going to be happening.
Yeah. On that note, all the players opting out's a big topic. In my opinion, I can't really blame them. It's honestly, I kind of think of it in the same vein as like standing up for Black Lives Matter and using your voice like that. Like, America needs to take the pandemic more seriously, in my opinion. Like, just players opting out is one step in making America, one of the most developed, if not one, like the most developed country in the world. Like, not be in a barbaric state. Like, yeah. What's your thoughts on the players opting out?
I like it. I think players are choosing families over football, and regardless of them losing the money that they could potentially be earning, I think some of those players recognize and realize that they need to be more cautious and more safe about their approach on things, and that is what some of these guys are doing, because as far as we're concerned, the NFL doesn't really have a plan set in stone for how they are going to handle the coronavirus. And knowing football, it's a very physical game. So you can't social distance in the game of football. It's literally impossible, right? So, some of those players are probably thinking, what if one of the players that they got to tackle ended up getting the coronavirus and they somehow potentially get it and they're bringing it to their family? Or, what if they create a bubble like the NBA did where they can't leave that bubble and they can't see their families from September to potentially February, depending on how far their team goes? It's just, they're starting to choose families over the game of football. And no matter what team you're a fan of or what player you're a fan of, you have to respect their decision, because at the end of the day, it's bigger than just the game of football. And I personally would not mind anybody choosing to not play football because they're more concerned about it.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Like, it sucks as a fan of football. It sucks as the players. It's not like they don't want to play. Like, they want to play the season. It sucks as the teams. It just sucks in general. But just because something sucks doesn't mean you can just ignore it. I think just not having an NFL season until we could get coronavirus on, like, COVID-19 on the down, is the right thing to do. I don't think having an NFL season is the right thing to do. In general.
Anybody that's frustrated or upset about their player opting out, just put yourself in that situation. I mean, what would you do? Would you risk yourself to go play a game of football? Because I don't think I would have the heart to do it. I don't think I'd even have the heart to do it in basketball, where it's a lot more secure than football ever could be. I mean, the NBA, the NBA came up with the best plan possible for this, and so far it's working out. But I just don't think I would have the heart to put myself and my family in that kind of danger. It's just not worth it. So, like I said, you gotta kind of respect the decisions that they make.
What was the NBA's plan? I don't really follow.
Oh, so they all went to Disney World in Orlando. They shut down Disney World and they planted a bubble around it, and the 22 teams that have a possibility of making the playoffs right now are currently playing games, and they'll start the playoffs, and I don't know what the exact schedule is, but they'll be starting it soon. And they test every single day if they have coronavirus. I believe it's like every other day, every single day. They have cooks there to help them cook food. They got barbershops, and they're all in the design hotels that Disney World originally had. They stay there, and they are not allowed to leave the bubble whatsoever. So nobody can leave, nobody can enter it. There was a deadline, and the deadline passed for leaving or opting out or whatever. So that's their plan right now. And last night was the first regular season games, and it was a success. Nobody has coronavirus in the bubble right now. So
wow,
that's what's going on with the NBA.
That's some movie shit right there. That's pretty cool. I mean, that sucks, but that's pretty cool that they at least they did it like that. But there's no way you can do that for football. You just can't.
They'd be, there's a specific thing that I'm sure men in general can't live without, their wives. And I'm sure that's honestly taken into consideration when they think about something like a bubble. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about it, really.
Yeah, it's a rough situation. Yeah, I think they gotta figure their shit out. It's bigger than just football. Well, that's all we got for today. Thanks for listening. We'll check you on the next Cheezy and Mocha podcast. See you later.